So Siana's supposed to be somewhere around here. Sun's coming up. That's kind of pleasant. Bit of an escape after the gruesomeness of the evening. You know what? Maybe I'll throw a save down. I think I could use all sorts of saves throughout this entire game, really. A lot of this ending stuff has a lot of forking paths that might be interesting to follow up on. Siana, I know your secret. Is she just right in here? If that's the case, this is a way less secure holding location. Oh, there it is.
Halt!
Need to see Siana, urgently.
In the matter of?
Want to talk to her. It's important.
Want to talk? Go see your gran at tea time. Not one locked up on the Duchess's orders. No doing without special permission. Period.
Found some information important to her case. Need an explanation, urgently.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
Promise to be brief.
Whoa, he climbs steps 3 at a time. That's impressive.
The Witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
Have you come to see how I fare? I'm fine, thank you. Artorias' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I know who the 5th victim was supposed to be.
Goodness, you're simply a compulsive snoop. I'm in prison. Deadloff is dead. Could you not just drop it?
Siana, stop pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why do you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you?
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated. Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? Oh, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
Perhaps, just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you and forgive her.
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but...
Read your governess's diary. You played together, were inseparable. Henriette'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure. But there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them. Sometimes we only remember the good. Sometimes only the bad.
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me,
Siana, you were exiled when she was how old? 12? 13? She was a child. What was she supposed to do? Rebel? Organize a coup? Steal your father's seal and forge a pardon? She was powerless. Wiped you from her memory not because she didn't care, but because your departure was traumatic for her. She forgot because that was the only way she could handle the pain.
Ugh. You really want a happy ending, don't you? With all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another. And that would be a shame.
Farewell, Siana.
Commander de la Tour would like to see you. Shall we go at once?
It's so agonizingly vague about whether or not we've gotten to her at all, which is rough, because it of course affects future decisions from this point on. Also, is it just me, or does it look like they totally just used Yennefer's face for her, which I feel like is supposed to make you like her more? Like, it almost looks like they took the character that was love interest and like smashed their face onto another character. I almost would be interested to see if she looks different if you were with Triss, for example, or something. I'm probably full of it, though.
Let's go. Want to see him, too. Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Your face doesn't look good. Though it looked even worse last I saw you.
I apply a balm of arnica. Yeah, I hardly feel it anymore.
What do I do? What do I do? Do I say it now or elsewhere? Because are there other opportunities to bring it out? That said, we even have a separate relationship here where the two of us might even discuss things separately without bringing it up immediately. I mean, that was the whole premise of me stealing her away in the first place, was that he did something he wasn't supposed to do. It just seems like such a mess to not expose it. I feel like at the very least he should know. Even if we don't tell Henrietta, I mean, we'll probably tell everyone, honestly. It's what I was hired to do, and her life's literally at risk. But at the very least he should know, because he's the guard captain, and he needs to be prepared.
Got some important information. Anna Henrietta was supposed to be Detloff and Siana's 5th victim.
You are certain of this?
Completely. Found proof.
Inconceivable. How could she? The murders, the mayhem she brought down on the city, were they not enough? She sought to strike down her own sister, her liege. Traitor. I must alert my men. Enlarge the Duchess's honor guard. Make certain Sylvia Anna is closely watched during the questioning. I'll see to it personally. I thank you, Witcher, for alerting me, and I appreciate your attentiveness. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits. In the Guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Toussaint's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, slayer of the beast of Beauclair, step forth.
we bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire. May the symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of Son Real, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
I am, and truly grateful, Your Grace. Sadly, I'm afraid I have to sour the mood. It's Siana. She plotted to have you killed, Duchess. Planned to use Detloff. You were to be the beast's fifth victim.
This cannot be true. You're mistaken. You must be.
I have proof.
I do not believe it. In a moment I shall speak to Siana. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet what you tell me now I find devastating. I've come to doubt that I can judge her fairly. I'd far prefer to learn you're mistaken, Geralt.
I'm not. In fact, I'd recommend you be particularly careful around her.
You exaggerate, Witcher. She is my sister. I know well how to speak to her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister, and my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Nor does it let me believe you sought my demise. My heart yearns to know you were swayed by the monster Detlaff. You yourself would never stoop so low. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
Bitterness consumes Siana. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. But I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Siana?
You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child, thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents. I'd always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... your dagger hurt most. You were my Henrietta, damn it! My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
Claim to understand them all? Why'd you come back for revenge? Have them all cut down then?
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Henrietta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace? Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark, and which you set afire at the last to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out. But you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
I think I might have actually saved the day. I thought we were screwed. I thought there was no way she gets out of this and this goes clean. It's funny how even she was saying, "God damn it, you really do want a happy ending, don't you?" And it led to this.
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony? It was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips. How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diabolus variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavour profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
You decide to go root picking now? It's dark out.
Geralt, even were I generously to assume it had simply slipped your mind that I am a vampire and thus need no light to see, I'd never believe you had also forgotten that you likewise have absolutely no trouble seeing in the dark. So, shall we?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. But I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
Thanks. Right then, let's go.
This moonlight makes me, oh, so dreamy.
Penny for your thoughts.
Says optional. It's optional to put on the stuff that'll make you not start dying. How silly does this mask look? Alright, it's not here. Where are the gloves? Are those the gloves? That's the Toussaint set from what I picked up while we were in the fantasy world. Maybe it's a special item over here. No. Is it a quest item? If it ever loads. Oh, right, the Beauclair sets. All that nonsense. And there's the 5th victim. The Orders of the badge I got. There's the mask. There we go. That is a straight up Plague Doctor mask. Enjoyed that as part of the collection, huh? Gonna wear that for the next 50 hours of gameplay. Gloves? Did I miss them? Oh, right. Mandrake gloves, there we go. Because gloves don't count at... my mistake was I thought the gloves were part of the dress-up set. But, formal attire never has gloves in this game as far as I can tell.
Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about, oh, how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
Perhaps not. Perhaps not. These gonna be good old-fashioned mandrakes you just pick up, or are they gonna be more nasty, jump around, crazy projectile monsters? Because I'm kind of tired of those guys. Let's see here. Good old corpse mandrake, you know. And it's growing out of the bodies of dead people, isn't that great? Brew that right into your wine, you'll be fine.
Now, where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He's a vampire, after all.
It's all an ambush. It's an ambush. He's mad about Dietlaf and he's come for revenge. Maybe,
Where'd you go?
maybe he just made a funeral for him. How did he run this fast? Holy crap! I thought for sure he would have missed it away. Okay, a lot of vampires around here. Ow, pain. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if Regis really needs my help, but I could use some help.
Those Bruxay, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink.
That's a shitty code. You're with us unconditionally? There's too many people to be with unconditionally. Anyone can conflict with anyone, it doesn't work that way.
Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning. Then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home, on the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
Know what? Think I just might. Come on now, don't laugh. Maybe not today or tomorrow. But one day I'll want to see what it's like to just wake up every day in my own bed.
Oh, stop, please. Sounds so sentimental, my fangs have begun to hurt. Then what? Will you begin writing your memoirs like Dandelion? I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
Nilfgaard?
Why ever not? The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires anymore. This fact alone could be very useful to one wishing to remain incognito.
Interesting point of view.
Funny how that works, because of course, as a Witcher, encountered a whole lot of vampires in every society so far.
I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
So we shall, my friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I was about to say they're zooming in on him specifically because they're saying he deserves a rest at long last for after all they've been through. And that's CD Projekt Red being all self-aware because they've done 2 massive games, then a 3rd massive game that was as big as the other ones combined or whatever, something like that I've heard, and this expansion was supposed to be in itself as big as Witcher 2 or something like that. I don't know if it was as long as Witcher 2, but it's supposed to be physically as large as Witcher 2, just this one expansion, which is insane. And of course, Witcher 2 is infamous for being a game that was crazy enough to have, I think it was a 3-act structure, and the 3rd act took place in 2 completely different locations based on a decision you made. I don't know, I haven't spoiled anything about what those were, but it's just all those examples of them putting so much work and location into these games. So it's almost like they're looking at themselves like, alright, time to finally say goodbye to The Witcher, and time to, like, we put in a lot of work, and it's almost like we deserve rest from it. And then the developer put a bunch of time in it. At this point, Geralt's been through a ton of stuff, and even the players have been through this huge marathon of video game. And at long last, it's time to take a break. And then right when I was about to start even vocalizing any of that, he fucking stares directly at the camera. I'm like, okay, yep. That pretty much encapsulates that concept. So, we've made it, guys. This is us closing the book on Witcher 3. Kind of. We folded a few pages, you know what I mean? So, we're not completely done with this book yet. But this is the end. I've crossed the finish line. The main campaign's beaten. Tons of side content. Finished both campaigns now. Was very completionist about this campaign in particular. it was easier to be more completionist about this one than the previous expansion, because at least this one had its own separate location. So it was nice and isolated, so you could really focus on the quests specific to it. But yeah, this will not be the last Witcher 3 video on this channel. I plan on checking out a few of the different forks of the ending, see what a few differences in decision would lead to, and stuff like that. And I'm also interested in, but aside from that, I'm also just interested in following up background open world stuff. So if you're waiting for Gwent, I'll be sure to do that Blood and Wine Toussaint Skellige Gwent tournament thing, and collect a bunch of cards in the future. But this will give me a little bit of a breathing room, because now that I've finished it, I can kind of get around to it when I have time for it, because clearly the schedule's been a little bit busy lately. So I won't necessarily promise a super consistent schedule now that I've made it to the end of the game, but I will be getting to that Gwent stuff, and hopefully in the future I'll also get around to even doing stuff back in the main game, like just going through and trying to tie up loose ends and find little hidden quests here and there that I never got around to. Now that the final expansion is out, there's nothing else to wait for, so it's all about finding any little details I haven't found. If you know about a quest that's worth checking out in the main game, for example, or even something I missed in the first expansion, you could always give me the name of the quest in the comments if you have that kind of specific memory and actually have watched the whole 120 episodes of the original playthrough, for example. And that could give me information that I need to potentially find where it starts, because some of these quests you literally have to walk around the right corner and then, oh look, there's a person here with the quest. And there was no notice boards pointing there or anything. But anyway, guys, this has been the end of Witcher 3 second expansion, the final game. As far as CD Projekt Red has said, I believe this is it. This is supposed to be the end of their time with the franchise, and it was time well spent. I believe next they're doing Cyberpunk. Admittedly, there's future announced projects, and I keep mixing up the future announced project from Harebrained Schemes, the people that do Shadowrun, and the people that do Witcher, CD Projekt Red. I mix up. They both have upcoming new projects that are different from the one that they just did 3 games of. So as you might imagine, I mix them up a little bit because they're kind of similar concepts of developers. Because those guys just did 3 Shadowrun games, and now they're doing a new game of some other IP. I don't remember if Cyberpunk is them or CD Projekt Red. I think it's CD Projekt Red. But yeah, Witcher 3. Flawed game, but fantastic game. One of the most memorable experiences I've ever had playing RPGs. Serious contender for Game of the Year, whatever game year you count it as. Hell, some of these expansions are contenders for Game of the Year they come out in. As pointless as the concept is of Game of the Year anyway. But it's hard, like, there's so many little quirks, like, they have problems with their interface, and moving Geralt at times feels sluggish and awkward and clumsy, and combat's, like, not always quite as polished as you'd hope it would be. And it's got its fair little share of technical problems, but it's all overshadowed by the sheer ambition and the characterization and the performances. And, like, I think, who was it who said this? I want to say it was I think it was actually Super Bunny Hop who made the point of saying, or it was somebody else, where, like, I think he said that Witcher 3 is the first game I've played where I think I've seen characters give me meaningful looks. Which is a crazy concept to think about, because, like, we've played games like Mass Effect and whatnot. Like, BioWare always had like characters doing dialogue with close-ups of their faces and stuff, but it's always been a vocal performance, and you have to explain things pretty overtly. But they've done performances so well in this game that, like, a little like tweak of the eyebrow or something can actually give you a little bit of information about what somebody's thinking and stuff like that, and it could be subtle in a way that hasn't really been captured in games, especially not an RPG. Like, maybe some Naughty Dog game where where you're watching a super pre-choreographed cutscene and it's all in a linear experience and everything, but a game on this scale having that kind of performance is mind-blowing. And you want to say that Witcher 3 is a trendsetter because of all the crazy things they've accomplished with this game, but I think I was talking to Birdcatcher one of the people that I play some of the games with on the channel sometimes, and I think he made the point that he thinks that CD Projekt Red's actually in such a specific position for making money and while being super independent and everything, that he paints kind of a not so bright picture of the future of RPGs compared to what you might hope for from CD Projekt Red, because you see what they accomplish and you think, whoa, wow, this is impossible, right? But no, this is like the new bar, right? Everyone's gonna follow up on this. It's gonna be crazy. This is what RPGs are like now. Boom. And maybe it'll be what their next game is like, because they'll probably still be them, hopefully. But no studios like them really exist. They're either tiny, like Harebrained Schemes, where they're like, yeah, we look at our really stripped down, top-down CRPG. We're making it work. Or they're a big production like BioWare, which has this vice grip around their neck from companies like EA. Where like if you get the budget to make a game like Witcher 3, you're probably someone like BioWare, where you're not going to be able to make all the creative decisions, and you're not going to be able to just sit on your game and keep developing it for years until it's actually where it's supposed to be. And there's all these deadlines and profit margins, all these things that sort of corrupt the system and cut corners, and lead to reasons why, while being good, Dragon Age Inquisition was kind of disappointing, and almost made... And it's only made all the more disappointing by playing Witcher 3, which came out so soon after, and blew almost everything it had out of the water, aside from the fact that, of course, does not have top-down, party-based tactical combat. That's obviously missing here. But, that's... We'll see. We'll see how Western RPGs go from here. But, honestly, expect more Technomancers, and expect more, games like previous offerings from BioWare, which are good, but it'll be a long way before we get blown out of the water again by another ridiculous release from CD Projekt Red. And I look forward to it. And hopefully I'll still be, if I'm still doing this at that point, I have no idea how long in the future to expect it to be, because they'll just take as long as they need to take, because that's how their company works. Expect to see me playing that game too. Thanks for watching like always, guys. Look forward to little alternate ending episodes and epilogue episodes and sandbox episodes or Gwent episodes or side quest episodes or whatever. And I'll see you next time. And if you ever wanted to, you can catch up on the entire original playthrough of this game in that playlist that's in the description. I got a playlist in the description of every video I basically ever upload that tells you how to find the rest of the series. And that includes the main playthrough, the first expansion, and the second one. See you next time.
Actually, I'd love to go home.
Or maybe we're less done than I thought. Hello, Corvo Bianco. How are things going around here?
I work from dawn to dusk's last light. Then
I will say potentially one shortfall in this expansion is that they didn't do a lot to make this place worth being attached to. You can invest money in it, and you can kind of hang up some trophies and stuff, but there's just no reason to come here. And I think that kind of is mostly just because of the fact that this game doesn't have a party in it. And since it doesn't have a party, you don't have a bunch of characters to be attached to that all sit around in a room together. It'd be cool if, like, Yennefer or Dandelion and other characters like that were around, but instead it's just you and Majordomo, and that's... makes you not really excited about being around here. Wow, I stopped right on the edge of that cutscene, didn't I?
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
Unexpected as ever. And beautiful as ever.
Won't you even ask why I've come? Or how I found you?
Wouldn't get a straight answer anyway.
Quite true.
Used to bother me, all your secrets. Now I know if you have something to tell me, you'll tell me. Don't need to ask.
I missed you, Geralt. Madly. Come outside. We can hold hands and stare at the sky, like some shitty two-crown romance.
Liking Toussaint so far?
The landscape's lovely, and the towns are charming, no question about that.
But
the southern sun plays havoc with my wardrobe. To be blunt, wear black down here and you're pretty damn hot.
might need to think about changing your color palette. Off-white and pea green, for instance.
And I'll wear scents distilled from turnips and daisies. I think I shall simply stay in the shade, and you'll bring me cool drinks at regular intervals.
Bring you whatever you want. Brought quite a few books. Let me guess, working on a new spell?
Not at all. These aren't grimoires, just pleasure reading. The Name of the Orchid. A widower for half a year.
Always thought you too busy to make time for something as impractical as pleasure reading.
Because I was. But now I'm not. A few weeks ago, I awoke to the realization that I know not what to do next. I have no plan. I have no goal. And you know what? I like that. Finally, I can stop thinking about politics and focus on what's important to me. Which is why I came here.
Got a point. The war's over, Ciri is safe and alive, and experiencing life as a Witcher of all things. We've got property, lots of money. We can just be here, which is strange.
You know, feels kinda strange having a home.
I must say I never pictured you owning real estate.
Was something of an accident, but I'm not about to complain. Yen, back then, before we fought the hunt, said you wanted to run away with me to the world's end. This vineyard, good enough?
Yes, although there's one thing missing.
Namely,
I shall give you a hint. It's large, white, has 4 legs, category taxidermy.
oh yeah, the unicorn. Fine. You can bring it down here.
I knew you'd see things my way.
Ever thought this day would come? Me and you, peace and quiet, bees buzzing, birds chirping,
I almost regret delaying so long before coming to you. I was quite the silly goose.
You have doubts? Though I imagine it might have been hard coming after me. Always were proud as a peacock.
Please, Geralt. I'm not like other sorceresses to feel that following someone means my wings have been clipped.
Ooh, watch what you say about your colleagues. Remember, it's an ill bird that fouls its own nest.
Well said, Witcher. You're not only handsome, but wise, too. I feel a bit like the cat that got the canary.
Yeah, and I'm... Damn it, you win. This time.
Ha!
How'd that start, anyway? Our duels and wordplay.
Forgotten. It was at a vernissage in Ballard. You started it to keep from going mad with boredom. I remember finding your sense of humor both groan-worthy and somehow endearing. Never change, Geralt. I beg you.
Yennefer and Geralt trading jokes. There's a change of pace.
So, talk again later?
Of course. I'm not going anywhere.
Right when I was saying, hey, there's a weird lack of people around here. Look, people. Suddenly it feels like there's a reason for Geralt to be around here. That was the epilogue that was missing.